Well, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. My name is Fox and I'm joined tonight on the panel by the young bridgeman and the up-and-coming fans' favourite, Big Stevie from the Drum. Evening, lads.
Good evening, Fox. And good evening, bridgeman.
Oh, can I say a big good evening to you guys? Huge good evening to the guys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Eve of a big game.
Yes, and it is indeed, Bridge. Well, I'll give the people a wee rundown on the format of the show. It's 40 ounce of Friday, so if you settle down in your armchairs, have a wee glass of wine, a cup of coffee, or even a wee whiskey, get your phone beside you and start calling in as soon as we ask for callers. So, Bridge, what have you been up to today?
I've been actually listening in and following our manager insofar as what's happening with our team and our club and so on and so forth. I also found a couple of wee things regarding Scottish football which are going to be tricky because we may end up falling into the same type of bracket, multiple players being unavailable through COVID and things like that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that in that area. But other than that, I'm very happy and I'm looking forward, as I was, to getting onto this show tonight and hearing your dulcet tones, boy. You and Big Stevie.
I'll try and keep going for 2 hours. I'll need to keep my respirator plugged in right enough. But and yourself, Stevie, how's your day went, pal?
Oh, brand new, Bridge. Just Fox just came out of work there and getting a wee odds and ends sorted for going holy bags, but well, I've been doing that. I've been listening to Rumourville and who the Rangers are connected with now today, young 27-year-old. So we can maybe give that a wee talk once we're up and running. But I've had a good day, mate. Me and Myra Hanley are all sorted. We're all good to go.
I'd love to meet Myra Hindley. You'll need to introduce me one of these night outs, mate.
Watch yourself now. Stevie, watch yourself.
I think that lassie's had a hard time married to you, and I'll just put her mind at rest, you know.
That's like you say.
Well, you're never in the house, are you, mate? You're out wheeling and dealing and sorting the problems out for the world, you know.
Well, you could say that, Fox, but I'll tell you what a wonderful box player Myra Hanley is. She can play the accordion.
Oh,
brilliant new year. The next Rangers Radio Garen will get her out with a box. We'll give her a few tunes.
Oh, I could imagine. I'll bet she's good. I've heard you saying that before. I'll look forward to listening to that. Anyway, Bridge, you were saying there at the start that you had a couple of wee things that you'd been looking at today. What was that? What was on your mind there?
The first thing I took cognizance of, in fact, was at St Mirren. St Mirren have got Jack Alnwick. We know he tested positive for COVID, and his roommate in his flat is the boy who used to play for us, the right back, Northern Ireland right boy.
Oh, Hodgson.
He's been he had to self-isolate or whatever in quarantine. So those two are out. That's two players, and then the second goalkeeper at St Mirren also out because of COVID, tested positive allegedly. But what they've said is the local council, or local health board, have decided that their third team goalkeeper also should self-isolate because, you know, he's been training with them, you know. So these two goalkeepers and the third goalkeeper are obviously in training. So somewhere along the line, it's just the third one is just for safety's sake. But that means they don't have a goalkeeper on their books that can play. So they've now kicked in or tried to kick in emergency loans. But the SPFL have allegedly demanded that the game goes ahead tomorrow. So I'm thinking to myself, I mean, I don't know if St Mirren want it off, but I'm thinking to myself, why are they forcing that club to play if they don't have any goalkeepers? That's surely not right, because we don't know if they're going to be right. That stuff's going to be right through the team. Anyway, I just wondered what you guys thought of that.
Any comments on that, Steve?
Aye, well, look, I was wondering that myself, Bridge, if there was any rules getting broke there. Are they getting forced to play, or do they want to play it? I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs, but I heard what you were saying broke on another radio station, which I'm not want to mention, but I heard wee snippets of what was going on, but I don't know if there's any rules getting broke as long as the club wants to play. I know they're looking for loans, as you were saying, but it bewilders me. But let's be honest, guys, that's going to happen to other teams this season. That's going to happen. Be players in other teams for dropping like flies. I think there is. So
that's what I was trying to say. I'm concerned if it's going to happen to us. How are we going to be looked at? Are we going to be looked at? I thought that the SPFL would have come out and said, "Look, these guys are out for let's say whatever it be, 11 days or 10 days. That's it. St Mirren can't play football for 10 days because it could be right throughout their squad, and the chances are that they could be spreading it. Who knows? Right? We just don't know. So that's all I was meaning. You've got three people.
I don't want to trivialise COVID-19, mate, but there's been loads of football players that I've read who have tested positive. Has MD ever heard of MD that's been hospitalised as in a footballer? I know plenty of the public have, but has MD heard of a player that's actually went down seriously with this?
No. Personally, I haven't heard anything, but I know that...
Never.
Well, it's been, all we're saying is they've got a bubble, yeah? So they're going to bring somebody, let's say they get an emergency loan in. So this emergency loan guy, he's got to come in and he's got to get initiated into this bubble, the COVID bubble for the club. I don't know how that works. And I even thought that maybe they would need to get two goalkeepers on emergency-wise on loan so that they've got a reserve goalkeeper on the bench. And then again, I don't know how that works either. But it's really, from a COVID perspective, can they allow somebody to walk in like tonight and say, I'll play? So somebody phones St Mirren and says, I'm with, let's say, I don't know, a junior team, or even Albion Rover or something like that. I used to be with them. I'll stand in for you. They would need to go through all the tests and all that before tomorrow's game. I just find it really difficult how the SPFL are going to work this. But the games are going to be played, isn't they, at some point?
We'll find out tomorrow. And actually, on that point, is there rearranged games that was cancelled because of Bolingoli not getting played on Wednesday with the same thing
there
happening?
You go. That's maybe I never even thought of that. That's maybe the reason why they want the game played tomorrow. And so they're not going to put a ban on it, That might be the reason for it. The SPFL are saying, no, you're playing, and that's it. Wow. Because if they did say, no, we're not playing, the game's off tomorrow, then for sure the game's going to be off for midweek, isn't it? They can't do that to them. Can't do that.
Okay. Stevie, yourself, what were you saying there about a possible new signing?
It's just rumourville as per. It's your boy Daniel Johnson for Preston. He's an attacking midfielder. He's 27, and they're talking about a £2 million fee. He's a Jamaican internationalist. But again, Oxford be ticking us all off and saying, look, we're linked to everybody. But there's a strong rumour about this one. There's a different feeling about this one. Me personally, I don't know much about the boy, but that's a rumour for the night, just saying that they're looking into signing this attacking midfielder. So I'll need to do a wee nosy on him, and have a look at the boy.
Preston boy, I think he's a wee left-footed player, mate. I think I've seen him on some of the championship sort of games, or I don't even know what league Preston's in, but I think I've seen him before. I think he's a wee penalty taker. Maybe that's what I remember him. I think he scored a couple of penalty kicks, but I don't really know that much about him. But as you say, a rumour's a rumour, and we've had plenty of them since the start of the new season. So, well, hopefully if Stevie G and the backroom staff think he's a good target, fair enough.  Well, carry on, Stevie. Sorry, I didn't even know you were going to come back, yeah.
No, I'm just going to say, I mean, you're talking about rumours. Look how many clubs is going to be interested in Alfredo now, you know. It's just absolutely frightening, but nothing seems to be moving. But I'll tell you one thing, I hope the wee man gets a run out tomorrow. I really do. I hope he gets a run out and he pops a couple in the pokey for us, because he's no good. Let's be honest, his valuation's no good sitting on a bench. He's got to get out back on that park, and let's see. Hopefully he gets a run out tomorrow. Well, we'll all find out when we hear the manager's press conference.
Well, that's a good link up. I think we'll do that now. If you boys want to go on mute, we'll hear what Stevie G had to say today. So here we go.
Nikola Katic has been to see a surgeon for the first time since his surgery. That was very positive. He's extremely happy with Nico's progress. Joe Aribo has had a setback in terms of his return to training. So he's got a high ankle sprain at the moment. He'll be missing for 4 to 6 weeks. We're really positive in terms of that being 4 rather than 6, but we'll have to take it week by week. Alan McGregor has jarred his knee on Thursday in training. He'll have a scan over the weekend and maybe get an opinion on that situation on Monday, so I'll have more information from Monday on Alan. Jordan Jones has returned to us with a small quad problem. That'll be days rather than weeks. We're hoping to have JJ back in full training on Tuesday or Wednesday. That's the bad news out the way. The good news is Cedric Itten, Jermaine Defoe and Borna Barisic are all available to train this morning. JD trained yesterday with no problems. We'll have to be patient with JD. He's missed a lot of football and he's had some time out, so we'll make a decision later today whether he's involved tomorrow. But Cedric, Jermaine and Borna are all in full training as of today.
First of all, how big a miss will Joe Aribo be? And secondly, this is probably one better for the end of the press, but can you give me your take on the return of the Premier League in England, and is it going to be another year for Liverpool, another title?
I'll answer the first question first. In terms of Joe, yes, it's a big blow. Joe, during pre-season and the start of the season, was in magnificent form. He's a player we rate very highly here, so I'm sure he'll be missed over the next 4 weeks. It's actually good news for us, because when he's had the setback in the training, there was a situation where he had to go and see a specialist on this ankle problem, and there was a chance he might have needed surgery. Thankfully, he doesn't need surgery, and we might be able to get him back in 4 weeks' time. So it's actually a positive situation, because it could have been a lot worse. But he's definitely going to be a blow for us, because he's a fantastic player and a major talent and a major part of how we play. So it's certainly a blow. The answer to your second question is it was like Christmas Eve last night. Tonight as well, waiting for the Premier League to start. I mean, it's the best league in the world. It's been missed over the last weeks for sure. In terms of Liverpool, I think they're the team to beat, of course, being the champions. Knowing Jurgen and the players and the mentality of them, they'll want to attack that title. I'm sure they will. They're not going to sit back and defend. I think they're going to come out the blocks very fast against Leeds tomorrow. It's a game I'm really looking forward to watching after our game. But yeah, the excitement levels are very high.
Should everything go to plan this month, I think you could face 6 games in 19 days in the league and the Europa League, and I'm sure there'll be fixture congestion throughout the season as well. How does that affect your team selection even this early on, with Dundee United obviously tomorrow? And do you almost have to kind of plot your way through the month, planning ahead game by game?
Yeah, I think it's very difficult to pick teams further down the line beyond Dundee, because you never know, if players are going to come through. You never know who's going to be showing signs of fatigue. Players are coming back off internationals. Some people have had more minutes than others already. I think what you do is you try and prepare your squad and have enough numbers and enough good options in your squad to cope with the schedule. But you're right in what you say in terms of this month. It is going to get more intense with the return of the Euro qualifiers, if you like. But we actually play less games than normal, so it is a schedule that over the last couple of years we've got used to. And it's down to me, and it's my job and responsibility to try and manage players at the right time and make sure the team's looking fresh. I think we've managed to do that so far pretty well. I don't think you'll see wholesale changes from game to game, but you will see subtle changes in certain areas of the team just to try and keep it fresh and also manage individuals. All individuals are different. You know, some players can cope with the load and demand every single day and it doesn't seem to affect them. Some players are better maybe playing one game a week or at the right times being offloaded if they've had quite a lot of minutes in the legs.
Hi Stephen, you've been awarded the Manager of the Month trophy, Ryan Kent, 12 Player of the Month. How do you feel about these accolades and how do you look back at the first part of the season as a whole?
Well, I think without being biased, I think Ryan Kent certainly deserves to be Player of the Month. I think he's in sensational form. He's looking really sharp at the moment. He looks really happy and settled here. He's had a full pre-season under his belt, and I think his red card against Leon aside, I think he's been fantastic to watch and work with. So I'm very pleased for Ryan. I think that's fully deserved. In terms of my award, I think it's an award that is a collective reward for the staff, for the support that I've had during the lockdown, during pre-season, up to now in the season. And we also have to recognise the job the players have done, because them awards don't come unless your players are playing consistent collectively and contributing results. So I certainly receive my award as a collective.
Morning, Stephen. You'd said a couple of times before the international break that you were looking for one more piece to the puzzle in your team. Are you any closer to getting that in the door?
Not right now, today. So there's been no breakthrough, or there's not an imminent in terms of that. And that's the same with outgoings as well, or interest in our players. It's very quiet at the moment.
With Ryan winning the Player of the Month, it just goes to show that he doesn't really seem to be affected too much by that interest from Leeds United. And sort of second point as well to that is to make sure you fend off any other interest from other clubs. Would the club be looking at trying to tie him down in a longer contract?
In terms of Ryan, Ryan is on a very good contract here. Ryan has remained professional. His mentality and his applications been top class every single day since we've returned. He hasn't let any interest affect him. I think he's used it as a compliment that, you know, people are enjoying what they're seeing from the outside in terms of his form. He's scoring goals. He's looking very dangerous. He's playing with freedom. Yes, he's starting from his normal left side position, but I think he's really taking it to opposition teams and he's trying to cause as much damage as he can from different areas, and we've given him that freedom and that license to go and express himself. So we hope that Ryan remains in the place he's in because he's happy, settled, and he's enjoying his football. He is going to get more interest, and we're going to get more interest and phone calls over Ryan Kent because he's a fantastic player.
Morning, Stephen. With Joe's injury, is that going to place a sort of bigger onus on the likes of Ryan and Giannis and Brandon Barker to come up and provide that creativity they need? And just how confident are you that those guys can carry on the sort of good start that they have shown this season?
Look, Joe will be missed. There's no doubt about it because he's such a fantastic talent and he's a creator and scorer of goals for us. So you're always going to miss that type of player. But the responsibility and the pressures on the squad as a whole, you know, all the forward players that play in the forward positions, the responsibility is on them to create and score and find the answers when opposition teams set us challenges. So I don't think the pressure goes even more onto one other individual. It goes onto probably you know, the players that are fit and available and get the opportunity to start for us.
James obviously is making his 250th appearance. Just how important do you think he is for the team?
He's very important. You know, he's the captain of the team. I think James is someone who's very much appreciated within the walls of the training ground and the stadium. You know, he's always available. He's very rarely missed a session. Always puts his neck on the line for the team. He's very selfless. How he goes about his work. So he's very much appreciated by all of us, and it's no surprise, you know, he's hitting 250 already at Rangers because, you know, he keeps himself in good shape. He started the season in good form. I think he's got better game by game. And he's in a fantastic place, so long may that continue. He's had a good rest, so I'm expecting another strong performance from him tomorrow.
How difficult is it to get the players back quickly and settle down and then ready for a league match after an international break? Obviously it's a fortnight these days, and it must be a real challenge in terms of the team had built up a really good momentum before the break. Do you have much time to get them all back settled and come up with a game plan for the weekend?
To be honest with you, I think the situation's a lot better than it was a few years back, because some internationals were played on a Wednesday night, and then some players needed a day to recover or 2 days to recover. So I think managers have been in a lot more difficult situation than I'm in now. A lot of our players have only played one game. A lot of the players last played on Monday. So in a lot of cases, the situation's pretty fine, where you can still get the information in and enough training and get them settled and refocused in. I always sit down with them collectively when they're all under the same roof to try and retune them in and refocus on the job and the schedule that's going to face us in the coming days and weeks. We've had a pretty positive return in terms of people's health. So in this situation, I'm pretty happy with how the international break's gone. Ryan Jack only played one game. Glenn Kamara last played on Monday. Borna had a dead leg issue with Croatia, but we're confident that he can get through training today and be available for us. Philip Holander's only played one game, albeit that was on a Tuesday night, and we haven't seen Phil until this morning. That's not an ideal one. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with the international break, and we've all come back in decent shape. Only Jordan Jones who's not, but that's not a big issue. Hopefully he could be available for the European qualifier.
Before the international break, you observed that Alfredo's mind wasn't quite on Rangers, I guess, and his focus was maybe off. How has he been during the break in terms of training, and do you feel like he's ready and focused for the games that lie ahead? He's had one day off since Hamilton, so he's come in and trained alone with a fitness coach, which was good to see, and he'd done that off his own doing. So that tells me that he's focused, that he wants to get himself ready for the games that are coming up. He certainly looks better on the eye. He looks like he's getting sharper. So yeah, he's available again. He'll train this morning, and he's available for selection for tomorrow.
Well, that was a press conference there from the manager, Steven Gerrard, and another very informative session of questions and answers. How did you find that, Bridge?
I always loved listening to our manager. I think he talks so well. I think he's way above certainly the people that are asking him the questions. Some of the things he said were very interesting, It's the first we've known. We were talking, was it last night, we were just saying we wondered what was wrong with Joe Aribo. And there you go, you find out now. He's had a high ankle sprain, so somewhere along the line, he's going to be out for 4, maybe 6 weeks. Well, I would suggest that's the best of it. But other than that, he sounds very positive, given the fact that there's people that are really needed in the team to go forward now, and he's got to do it. He's just got to do it anyway with the club. So I don't know how he's going to get us there, but really interesting listening to him speaking. He talks so much sense. He talks so much sense about the Rangers. He really does.
Yep. On Stevie G, I'd like to first congratulate him and Ryan Kent on getting Manager and Player of the Month. One of the things I'm more disappointed about is the fact that we're not going to see Joe Aribo for at least another 4 weeks, because he's one of the guys that gets you the edge of your seat. Big man's been absolutely brilliant for us, so I'm kind of disappointed there. On the other hand, the other positive was when I was listening to him there talking about Alfredo. Alfredo's worked on his fitness. that for me, that's absolutely brilliant to hear that, Alfredo. But oh no, everything seems to be positive. We've got a decent sized squad there to neutralise people and get things sorted out. I just hope that the more of the boys that it does put, obviously I would like to see a Rebo there, but the boys, we should be able to put anybody out and beat Dundee United, let's be honest. That's how I just feel. The squad we've got to do, no matter who's on the bench and who comes off, we're more than capable of beating Dundee United. But again, I just love listening to Stevie Gerrard. His integrity and his honesty is absolutely brilliant, and I can sit and listen to him all day.
Before we run through the points, I want to put something to bed. He always gets asked a question about Liverpool, and I think the Rangers support need to realise that having a superstar like him as a manager of Glasgow Rangers, some of the reporters that are asking questions are doing it for their sister papers down south so they can have a wee story that Stevie G will be watching the Liverpool game tomorrow after our game. It's something he's going to be asked all the time, and that's just the price we pay to have a man of his stature at the helm of club. Do you agree with that, Bridge?
In some instances, what you're saying, sentimentally speaking, yes, I would agree with it. But I tend to think the worst. I'm one of these guys that I always think the worst of the reporters, and I think you'll find that, in my opinion, they're only asking that so they don't need to ask about Rangers. That's my honest opinion. So I'll ask about that. Any subject at all, any topic that will just take the shine off of Rangers. The manager's just been given the manager of the month, and a player in the team has been given player of the month, and they want to ask about a Liverpool game. Sorry, it doesn't ring true.
But the thing is, we've got to understand how the press work, Bridge. And some of the boys that's asking questions will be doing it under editors' advice sort of thing, that they need wee snippets for papers. Maybe it was, just for instance, it was a Daily Record asking the question. That would be for the sister paper, the Daily Mail, wouldn't it? So I think we'll just have to put up with that as long as he's our manager. What do you think, Stevie?
I think the Scottish press are always trying to trip the boy up, but he's just too wide for them. Obviously Stevie Gerrard's a world brand. We've said it time and time again on this show. He's a world brand, and he's always going to get asked some silly questions, whether it's about Liverpool. I agree with Bridge. It's a Rangers press conference. They're asking them about Liverpool, but you've got to see the flip side of that, is what you're saying. They're definitely looking for their sister papers to get a wee snippet here and there, but they're forever trying to catch the guy out and trip him up, and he's just too. He's got them by the ghoulies, basically. He knows how to handle them, and to me, he's an absolute gem of a guy. He's a diamond in the dirt we've got, and he's a world brand, and he's always going to get asked silly questions about Liverpool.
Fair enough. So if anybody wants to phone in regarding the press conference before we go into it in some detail, what's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Or you can join us on Skype at RangersRadio.online, where you can phone and be brought straight in. If you phone using a mobile, let it ring a couple of times, and the technical staff will call you back within a couple of minutes and bring you into the call. Well, we got a rundown of the injury list. Nico Katic still waiting for his injury to heal. Joe Aribo, who we'll bring up in a second. But the interesting one for me as well was McGregor out with a jarred knee. So that means John McLaughlin will probably start tomorrow. And Jordan Jones, who was out with a quad problem. So the good news was Itten is fit and Barisic is fit. And who else was in the injury list? We were doubtful about? Can anybody remember the other one?
Aribo?
No, Aribo's out. There was
out completely.
We had Joe. Who was it?
Jordan Jones.
Big Itten is back. That's who the other one was.
Okay.
So we can have that anyway. Joe Aribo going to be a big miss for us there these 4 weeks and possibly 6. But the good news is, I think that Rangers thought that he'd maybe have to go under the knife, which could have kept him out for a lot longer. So 4 weeks seems long, but it's much more preferable than being out for maybe to Christmas time if he had to go under the knife. What do you think, boys?
I think they'll target the Old Firm game for him to come back. That's what I think. But might not make it, but I think they'll target it.
But do you think he will be a big miss for us, mate?
Absolutely. He's been a big miss all the way along. Where you can see some of the way what we're doing and how we're trying to do it, and when it's really difficult. He could do things within a tight space because he's got really skillful feet, shall we say, and he makes some nice moves and has been heavily involved in putting pressure on the opposition's defence. And you're absolutely right. We will miss him, and we have been missing him, and we'll continue until he comes back for sure. That's a sin. That guy's had a lot of injuries since he came here, Scotland. A lot of injuries. Bloody sin.
Ute in the lobbies just remind me it was Jermaine Defoe is back in training. That was the one I missed.
Well done, Ute. Well done, Ute.
Yourself, Stevie, big miss, Joe Aribo.
Oh, big miss. His creativeness, his eye with that pass, he's capable of playing that pass. He's capable of beating men and tucking a nice curling shot into a bottom corner. As I said, just down, it's got to be a big miss. I'm actually disappointed we're not going to see him. But the flip side of that again is it's better 4 weeks and get under the knife, eh? So for me, Joe Aribo's an absolute diamond that we've put. I mean, for the guy that when he first came, I wasn't too sure, and then my God, what a player he's turned into. And it doesn't surprise me, as Bridgeman was saying here, the boys, he's getting kicked all over the place sometimes, some games there. Welcome to Scottish football. There's some of these teams haven't got an ounce of football in them. It's just get right through, take the ball, take the man. But Joe Aribo for me is going to be a big one in the future, and another great asset for our team if anybody was coming in. And I wouldn't be surprised if somebody was coming in. Touch wood, it never happens this season anyway. But I wouldn't be surprised if there were people looking at the big man. Oh,
well said, Stevie. Well said. I think that's the truth. I think there will be. I'd put money on it. There's people sitting on the outside. Waiting to take him away for sure. They just want him to get more experience. Still a young man, but full international. Unbelievable stuff. What a presence he has on the pitch. I just love him to bits, and it's just typical of our manager. He just wants him in there, and let's see what we can do with him. Marvellous player.
Aye, without a doubt. For the cross-border fee that we paid for him, I think he's going to repay us in spades in years to come. I hope he's at Ibrox to see out the rest of his present contract, and I think he'll just get better and better.
Yep. Can I touch on? We was talking about the players coming back for internationals. One game I did watch was the Republic of Ireland and Finland, and I thought Kamara was absolutely outstanding. By the way, absolutely, he ran the midfield. His touching, his movement. Absolutely.
What was the score in that one, Stevie?
They won 1-0. They beat the Republic of Ireland 1-0. So I was just, let's say, I was absolutely delighted for obvious reasons. So, but what a game he had, and big Hollander, he was up against Ronaldo at some points, and I was kind of flicking it back and forward. But I'll tell you what, the two of them done all right. What I've seen, the two of them done all right. They done their countries proud and the teddy bears proud, just let me tell you.
Kamara takes a wee bit of stick on most of the forums that I read, and I think it's undeserved. I think he plays a different position for Finland. He's more adventurous, plays further up the park. But in our system, he's there to do a defensive midfielder role, and I think he carries it out well. I like Big Kamara. And for £50,000, mate, what a steal. Anyway, we've been joined by Gary. Evening, Gary.
Evening, Fox, Stevie, Bridgeman. How are we getting on?
Good evening, Gary.
Fine, Gary.
Hi,
how's
Gary.
yourself?
Everything okay with you, bud?
Aye, fine. Apart from Lanarkshire being put in a mere lockdown tonight, so.
No, no effect. I'm in Lanarkshire. No affect me. I've been in lockdown since Christmas anyway, pal. You know.
Yeah. Well, I've been in the thicket and stuff like that, so it just seems to be another thing that they want to kind of control, I suppose. So there you go with it. No, it was just here talk about the press conference.
Yes, carry on, mate.
Obviously, Joe Aribo's going to be a big miss for us. And obviously, he's just finishing talking about Kamara. That Old Firm game that he played with Scotty Arfield and Defoe, he was more forward than that game, I can remember. And maybe this is a position he can maybe take up now that Aribo's maybe injured. Because in that game he was pressing forward. He done Brown in that turn, and that pass he put through for Defoe and then Defoe dummying it. More of that would be beautiful. I think he's got that in the bag, and like you says, for Finland he seems to play a more forward role rather than what he does with us, and that's where he gets a bit of stick because he's always obviously having to clean up all the time for us.
I'd agree with you, Gary. Him and Jack play more or less the same role, left and right hand side. With defensive set up from a midfield sort of perspective, and I think it just shows you how disciplined Kamara is because he does play his role the way he's asked. People say it's all wee short passes for him and he doesn't venture forward. I think him and Jack's both role in the team is to collect the ball and no give it away, and sometimes it looks as though they're not doing anything creative, but I think that's the role they've got in the side.
Mm-hmm. Yep, totally agree. I think, like I say, it's not down to their ability. I think it's just been like obviously Steven Gerrard keeps going on that it's a team game, and he's probably said to them, look, your job is to make sure when our boys push forward, our fullbacks push forward, you've got to cover for them and do your job. And I think sometimes, like you say, is because in the past teams they've had more, we've not had as many creative players, so they've been the ones that have had to do the creating side of it. So like I say, we've got to obviously back them. But for like you're saying about some of the forums, Fox, totally undeserved. The boy, he's had some sticky games, but I mean, so has everybody, to be honest.
I would say, Stevie, that they've been more than played their part in the clean sheets that we've kept this season, and I think they've took a lot of pressure off our back two defenders. What do you think yourself?
100%. I mean, I disagree with anything you or Gary said. It's just as plain and simple as when he's playing with Finland, he's higher up the park, and when he plays with the Rangers, he's lying in that deep role, and they are a big part of the clean sheets. There's no two way about it. Him and Ryan Jack. I think where the stick comes in is they're playing more across the park and back the way rather than going forward. But it's what they're asked to do. It's just as plain and simple as that. They're asked to do a role, and they're doing it. But people want to see them getting a wee bit more forward. I mean, I think it was, especially like Ryan Jack, I think it was last year we were up at Dingwall and he scored a couple of goals. He started shooting and it was coming after him. I think if he'd done that just a wee bit more, Ryan Jack, then I don't think he would get as much criticism. But Kamara, for me, if he was to play higher up the park the way he does with Finland, he wouldn't get anywhere near the criticism he does get. So I can't really argue with the 2 years I've already says. And regarding the defence is absolutely breeding confidence through the whole team because they're solid. For the keeper, right through our back line, and the two boys at the front there, as you're saying, Kamara and Jack, they've been absolutely brilliant. And
sorry, Stevie, carry on.
About to say, we've seen this before in League One and teams. When you keep the back door closed, you win leagues, and that's exactly what's happening this season. I mean, the confidence in that back line must be sky high now. No matter who comes in, whether the big man Bellong or whatever you call him comes in and Hollander comes out, it's like for like. They're playing well. They're all confident. I mean, what do you call him? He's a different player. I know at the back, the big man. What do you call him? He always gets stick. I know. He's been brilliant this year. He just looks a
Connor
different.
Goldson.
Aye, big Connor. Imagine forgetting his name. Connor Golson looking a different player this year as well. I think it's just he's playing with a wee bit better players, and it's breeding the confidence is breeding around the whole team now.
I'd agree 100%. Bridge, I think it's a role they play, they two players, and I think you see the same thing with Steve Davis when he comes in. When he used to play for Rangers before this spell, was an adventurous midfield player. But when he gets put in alongside Ryan Jack, he does the same role. So that's what makes me think that's their job in the team. Would you agree with that?
I think it does happen sometimes, but I think recently you see that Stephen Davis ventures forward a wee bit sometimes, a bit more than Ryan Jack. I don't know whether that's because he's a better, shall we say, better passer of the ball, creating opportunities and seeing the passes better. It could be that. I think Ryan Jack has found a good role insofar as his defensive type of role concerned. I'd like to go back to what Gary was saying regarding Kamara. I agree with him 100%. That was tremendous. The guy had a fantastic game against Celtic, and in a kind of forward position, and it was dragging Scott Brown all over the place sometimes, and turning everybody. His turn was working for every time he tried it that day, but I think people they latch onto it, don't they? So he has to come up with something a bit better or be a wee bit quicker in his turn. But I think, as you said earlier, for whatever it was, the cost was at that time, 50 grand. And you know what? The guy's, again, a full international, young man, full international, and he's worth a right few quid to us, that's for sure. I think we need to nourish these guys, nurture, should I say, and make sure they're in the right zones and get them on. I don't like to see Kamara, if he starts to play, I don't like to see him coming off for no reason. Get him off, that's fine. I'm quite happy to take people off if they're in a terrible game. But sometimes he becomes a more of a whipping boy, and I don't know why that is. That's my opinion. It's only what I feel and see, you know.
Anything else you would like to comment on the manager's press conference, Gary, before I move on?
Just I mentioned it last night. The Jordan Jones thing, it still really surprises me. It sounds like he's actually coming back into the team rather than going out the team. I thought for like the end of last season there, he was a certain to be going out the door along with like say Murphy and Doherty and all that. But it seems now that the manager, he's talking a lot more about him and involving his name in the squad a lot more. So that's a big surprise for me. I'm considering I don't think he would actually feature this season at all.
Do you think it could be a case of the manager mentioning him to alert clubs that he's still at the club and maybe there's a chance of a loan deal or something like that?
I suppose maybe. Is he saying that he's no injured, he's fitting well, ready to go? I suppose, but it's just that he doesn't usually mention, like he never really mentioned Doherty and stuff like that. I just find it weird how he's talking a lot about Jordan Jones and even calling him like his nickname, like Jonesy and stuff like that. Yeah, I just it sounds like a friendly thing rather than a guy that doesn't really want to speak to him. If you mean.
Maybe it's just good man management, mate. Stevie, the manager also gave, well, for me, a slight hint when he said that Philip Hollander had only arrived back this morning. And I think he would maybe need a rest tomorrow. Do you see Balogun coming in tomorrow instead of Hollander just because of the lateness of his arrival back at Ibrox?
Well, that's what I took out it, folks. I took out it. when he said about Philander coming back, to me right away, I'm thinking big Belong. Would you call him again? Big Belong.
Balogun.
Balogun's going to come in his place, 100%. That's just what it sounded to me. But can I get back to what Gary was talking about there with Jordan Jones? Me personally, I think he's looking to, just what Fox says, I think he's going to look to get him put out in a loan move somewhere, because he definitely wasn't in favour at all. He was the naughty step at one point, and to me now, I think Stevie G's just playing it cute. He might be saying these things and talking as if everything's brand new, but try to maybe get him a wee loan deal somewhere. But I guess, getting back to your point, Hollander coming back late is Balogun's got to come in, I think. I think you'll definitely see the big man tomorrow.
Would it worry you if, I mean, Barisic was training today. We don't know if he had any side effects. Would it worry you if the young boy Bassey came in tomorrow? Yeah, go you with that bridge?
I wouldn't have a problem with either of the two. But I do think that Highlanders came back and they played on Tuesday night. So once Tuesday night's finished, they're obviously overnight and you're into Wednesday. And then they've got to for debriefing and so on and so forth there for international. And then they get released. So he arrived back, when was it, this morning or yesterday morning? I'm not surprised at that. However, if they've had a training session today, the manager will be able to make whatever assessments out of that. And I've got no fears of the two names that you've told us, Balogun and Bassey playing. No problem for me. No problem. Very capable players. In fact, I like Balogun. I like him a lot, being a centre half. But I think at the present moment, Highlanders got it, and he provides quite a nice bit of left-sided balance. So I don't. Obviously, you've heard me saying all week, I don't want him to change the team. But the manager's a manager, and needs must. If there are slight injuries here and slight injuries there, the manager will have to make the decisions who's he going to play. But good luck to every one of them. I don't care who they are. Wearing that jersey, good luck to them. Get out there and murder them.
Yourself, Gary, what's your thoughts on maybe the left back? There's a possibility young Bassey could play tomorrow.
No worries at all. Season's gone by, you probably would be a wee bit concerned about somebody, an unknown coming in. But the boy, the games that I've seen him play in that, even the bounce games, he's big boy. He's been up there and scored headers and stuff like that. So he possibly maybe not put in the same kind of crosses as Barisic, but I think he brings something different down the wing. So no worries at all with that one.
I don't want to shoot you down, Stevie. The manager actually stated in the press conference that there was nothing on the horizon deals-wise, but that's been true of all the signings that we've had in. Nobody's had a clue what's been happening. So do you think that's your boy for Preston out the window?
You don't know. He's going to keep his cards close to his heart, and he's not going to say for definite a deal's done, you know. But again, as I said at the start, it was just rumourville, wasn't it? You know, we're going to be connected to everybody as we are. There's somebody every second day, isn't there? But can I just get back to your point? I'm confident with Big Shirley coming in there at the back for Barisic. Barisic, it's a dead leg he's got on it, a dead thigh or something, wasn't it? You said?
Aye, dead leg, aye.
Dead leg. So that's nothing serious, but as we've said there, as Brad says, we're confident no matter who comes in there, you know. The big boy's a big unit, Big Shirley, isn't he? He's some unit. I'd like to see. I think the boys get something to offer, and I think it would be, as Gary said, he offers something different going down that wing. He'll not be good as crosser as Barisic with that one to left foot, but definitely get something to offer the big man.
The other for me, the biggest talking point was his comments on Alfie. I had seen pictures of Alfie during the week at training. I think he's shipped a couple of pounds. He looks a lot leaner than he has been looking. And turning up for extra training himself's a good sign for me. Would you have him back in the side, guys? Go to you, Gary first.
I would have him back in the side. Just I think probably like most fans have been a wee bit annoyed with him with the last couple of weeks, just with the attitude thing and stuff like that. But credit where credit's due. If he's only took one day off since that Hamilton game, then I mean that shows commitment. And I'm glad to hear it. If you mean that's a lot of folks say he's our best striker when fit. Goals will dictate that, I suppose, but it would be good still to see Roof get a run out. I think that boy with more games under his belt will score goals for us as well. But it'll be interesting tomorrow to see who he starts with. I couldn't honestly call it, to be honest, for the press conference. The press conference sounds more lenient to that he might actually start. But I'm too sure.
Okay, Bridgeman, what's your thoughts on Alfie? Would you play him tomorrow?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I would. I said this last week and the week before. I said about a month ago that I thought he was looking as if he was a wee couple of pounds too heavy, but there wasn't very much you or I or anybody else could ever say about it. But if the manager's seen it, if you said you saw him and he looked a bit leaner, then the manager was saying his sharpness looking good and so on and so forth. So if that's the case, then brilliant and more power to the boy. I'd play him the day before tomorrow in every game if he was fit. Every game. I think he's the best player that we've got at Ibrox now. He's a fantastic player. And unfortunately, there are certain, shall we say, certain people in the press are always going to go and look for the bads and accentuate the bads when they talk about Alfie. But Alfie's a fantastic player. He's never, I think one of the boys said it before, he's never, I think it was you, Falk, he's never injured anyone. He's never really kicked anyone in a bad way, you know. It's just, this press in this country are just, they just hate him. That's the way I look at it. They just hate him.
Stevie, what's your opinion, pal?
I mean, Bob says it about the goalkeepers who should keep the jersey, the defence and everything else. And I've got to say, the boy Roof's not done much wrong, but for me, Alfredo's the best striker we've got now, and if he's fit and lean and ready to play and hungry, I think he should be in the team at some point tomorrow. I can't believe some of the stuff the press writes, as Bridge says there, the boy doesn't get a fair crack at the whip. I think he's refereed at a different level. I've said it a million times, but for me, tomorrow, if he's ready to go, I would play him. I really would. And that's no disrespect to Roof. The boy's not done much wrong, and if it means that he's going to come on as a sub at some point, then so be it. But Alfredo Morelos is the best striker we've got at Ibrox just now, and if he's fit and ready, I would be playing him.
Aye, I mean, my own opinion on it is, I think a lot of people maybe not take into consideration the thought of maybe moving for Alfredo. He's just such a young kid there, probably a lot in his mind there the last couple of weeks. And maybe that's a sign that he's back in training on his own again, that it's time to get the head down and produce again for Rangers. If he goes, he goes. But I'd like to see him going out on a good note where he's leaving after scoring goals for us again. Maybe a couple of goals tomorrow. And hopefully in the next couple of games, the European games, etc. I think that'll be the telling one. If we go to Red Imps and Alfie isn't in the squad, I would take it he was away boys, because that would be him not getting cup tied in Europe. And do you think that would show it up, Bridge?
Well, it's a good chance that would show up. Good chance indeed. I think that I hope Alfie doesn't go. I really sincerely hope he doesn't go. I want him to stay at Rangers and get us through to the end of the season. But I don't want the Alfie that's causing himself a bit of embarrassment, the way he's handling himself. I want the Alfie that's fully committed to Rangers and fully committed to winning the game. That's what I want. Please come back, score some goals, get the confidence back, and take us to the end of the season. And let's see how the land lies then. If we can win the league with Alfie in the team, my God, that'll be fabulous for us. Well, if we can win the league, it'll be fabulous anyway. But with Alfie in it, it'll be even more. For me, anyway, for more. And that'll boost his It'll boost his value. We're going into the Champions League as champions of the country. It'd be just wonderful. Just wonderful.
What about Zell, Gary? Do you think that would be a telling point if he never came on against Red Imps and if he played tomorrow? Would that be a sign that he's moving on?
Definitely. I mean, and the thing is, if he does start, then that kind of tells us that he's in it for the, well, I suppose you've still got January and stuff like that, but you would surmise that he's in it for the long haul. Let's say, like, I agree with Bridgeman. If it's Alfie's turning up and it's wanting to be a part of the team and wanting to be firing all cylinders, I'm all for him being in the team. But if it's the boy that's unhappy and looking elsewhere and stuff like that, then this season, out of all seasons, we need to be a team, and that's what I can note. Like this season, I've noticed it more that we are playing as a team rather than the team's playing to an individual. So, I felt as though we always played to Alfie's strengths, if you mean. Whereas this season, it seems to be like against Aberdeen. I noticed it was like Ken, Alfie, Hadji. Like the three were all kind of playing together. They were the ones who were going to be scoring the goals rather than just Alfie has to score the goal. So I'm hoping that it continues like that it's a team effort rather than it has to be all about Alfie. I
mean, I think that they've got the same problem across the city. I think Edward ducked out of their qualifying game as well, if you ask me, just so that he wasn't cup-tied in Europe. And I've got a feeling in Thursday night, if Alfie doesn't come onto that park, he'll be off. Stevie, what's your thoughts on it?
I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think it's as clear as day. If he's not in that pool or he's not starting, and he doesn't get a start, it's as clear as day that they're keeping him back because there's something in the pipeline. And it's as plain as simple as this as well, Ox. I'm sorry, I've got to put the gavel down here on it. But see if you don't want to play for Glasgow Rangers, whether you're Alfredo Morelos or anybody else in that team, there's the door. There's the door, because I'll tell you what, it's a down step no matter where you go. And that's just how I feel about it. And I love, I've stuck by Alfredo through thick and thin, just the same way you have Tav. And I know we can talk about Tav, he's 250 game, we can come back to that. But no, for me, Alfredo Morelos, if he's not playing in that game against the Red Imps, then I'm afraid that there's something in the pipeline. But if they're not wanting to be at Rangers, doesn't matter who it is, there's the door. And I don't care where they go, it's a step back away. They'll not get treated at the fan base we've got, they'll not get treated the same way up with fans. It's as plain and simple as that for me.
He'll not be the first player to have his head turned with interest in him, but Stevie, yeah. No. There's plenty before him it's happened to. And I think his attitude's good then, that he's no just skulking about looking for a move that he's decided. And he should never have got himself unfit, to be fair, should he have? I mean, he came through the wee pre-season with Rangers, and I don't think he should have put on the extra pounds. But as I say, there's a lot of things can affect a player's mentality. As I say, the young kid, just newly had a young kid. You know what like it is, sleepless nights, etc. But we'll just leave it at that anyway. Time for a wee tune, guys. You want to come back there, Stevie?
I was just going to say, what we've got to remember is too, a lot of this could be agent. He's got an agent there, and everybody knows what agents are like. They want the big money moves because they got a cut, they got a slice of the pie. We've got to take everything into consideration. His age, as you said, his family life there and everything. He's just at a wee barra, and his mind could be on that more than other teams are in. We just don't know. So we've got to look. He's wearing the blue jersey, we've got to get behind him. But there's a lot of things you've got to take into consideration. You've got to take into consideration he's got a dream to play in the Premiership, right? He said that today, Dot. He's got a new family. There's an agent behind him. There's a lot of unsettlement. Look the way the press, Bridge keeps saying it, look the way the press have treated the boy. So there's a lot of mixture there in the pot. And we've just got to get behind him. If he pulls the blue jersey on, we've got to get behind him. He's our best striker at the club now, as far as I'm concerned, and we just need to get behind him.
Thanks, Stevie. Right, get yourselves in mute and we'll have a wee tune.
We are the Rangers FC. We are the people, you better believe. We are together, we're doing the fancy all over the world. We had our troubles, but now they are gone. They tried to kill us, but the Bears we stood strong. We are together, doing the fancy all over the world. Lucia Vibrox for Lancer 3. Follow, and God save the Queen. You'll hear us singing, doing the fancy all over the world. In Barcelona in 72, we beat the Russians, but 3-2. Still celebrating, doing the fancy all over the world. Glasgow Rangers are back where we belong. Lucia Vibrox, and we're still going strong. We wear our colours, the red, white and blue. We wear them proudly like blue noses do. We are together, doing the fancy all over the world. The pride of Scotland, but that's nothing new. The pride of Glasgow, and Glasgow is blue. We are together, doing the fancy all over the world. To be a blue nose, it fills us with pride. We are united, we'll never divide. We are together, doing the fancy all over the world. Doing the fancy all over the world. Doing the fancy all over the world.
Oh, got me in the hop there. I was just swallowing a wee half there. I should have picked a longer tune.
The truth will out, boy. The truth will out.
I had to gulp it there, Bridge. I had to gulp it. Can I just give a wee shout out to my young brother who's in the lobby tonight? I haven't seen him since lockdown. And because Lanarkshire's gone back into lockdown, I'll not see him till the next time we're at the football. So, all right, my young brother.
Young brother Kellack.
And a wee shout out to old Mac, my favourite old pal, who me and him and Hoot have a brilliant conversation at night on Skype. Really enjoy it. Anyway,
he's a nice guy, you know, old Mac's a nice guy.
Oh, terrific old man.
For someone that comes from Temple, well, you know, nice guy.
Anyway, we were talking about Alfie, and I noticed a post today with Disco DJ on Follow, and he gave us some stats on tomorrow's referee, Kevin Clancy, and his treatment of Alfie. How's about this for some facts? Alfie has started 7 games with Clancy as the referee, 5 league and 2 cups. In those 7 games, Clancy has given him 6 yellows and 2 red cards. Is that no sad? I mean, do you think that's... I think it's deliberate with him. See the yellow cards, mate, most of the time with Clancy, mate. I think most of them are in the first half, and it curbs Alfie's style of beating up the centre halves. And I think it's deliberate. I think he's not a very fair referee, if I could put it that way. What's your views on that, Bridge?
He's one of the poorest referees in the league, in my opinion. He does himself no service for me insofar as Rangers playing football in the Premier League. I don't know if I have to be honest and say I don't know if he's the same with anyone else. So the stats that you're given against Alfie are horrendous. Let's put it that way. Absolutely horrendous for a referee to come away with his crap with a guy. Just shocking. But if that's what he's done, that's what he's done. Now, has he got a record like that against any other team? That's the questions I would ask. But it doesn't really matter if he has or no. But I'm just saying that's what I would ask. Why is he picking on Rangers? And why is he picking on one player within Rangers? Because that just tells me he's cheating. It's like my mother used to say. It's like a bunch of sticks. It's all made up. You know, you went to get in the shop and buy a bunch of sticks, all tied up with a bit of string. That's what it's like. To me, if that man has got no record against any other team like he's got against Alfredo Morelos, that's only one man. That's only the one player. Shocking, absolutely shocking. So I would say the man must be cheating. He's got to be cheating because he's got something against Rangers or something against Alfredo Morelos, or maybe both. And if that's the case, then he's not done us any favours at all. And there are a few referees similar. Sorry,
well said.
What's your views on it then, Gary?
I mean, the stats are, like Bridgman said, are terrible. I didn't even know it was close to that, to be honest. I think, like you say, Fox, even like the yellow cards, some of them will be him giving him a yellow card for dissent, but it's probably not even dissent. It's just probably him just being either disappointed with the decision, not allowing the game to go, or not allowing Alfie to get a foul or something like that. It's been stuff like that. It's no, like you said, he's not been punching anybody. He's not been elbowing anybody. Like I say, if that's the way it's going to go for the Mora, then there's something seriously got to be looked into there.
Stevie, your views, mate?
I'm just a wee bit more ruthless than the other two boys. I think he's just a Tim. I think his integrity is going to be questioned. I think he's got a strategy where he books Alfie right up early in the game, which leaves him absolutely hanging in a rope to play the rest of the 90 minutes. I think there was no clearer game than the game at Parkhead and the Gyro Dome. I think when Alfie fell right at the end of the game, it was his back pocket before Alfredo hit the deck. The man's a cheat. He should be looked at, and he should be half drawn and quartered for some of the decisions he's made against Alfie. Tell me a real bad tackle, guys, at Alfredo Morelos where you went, oh no, Alfie, you went too far there. Tell me a real bad tackle that he's done.
Never.
That Clancy knows. At one point, it was you stop Alfredo, you stop Rangers, and that's the strategy. Book him as early as possible, and he's running a tightrope for the rest of the game. He's a cheat, he's a liar, and he's a right jungle gym, and that's just how I feel about Kevin Clancy, and that's the bottom line. And I'm sorry, the boys are being more nice because they're on the radio and whatever, but I can't hold back when it comes to guys like him. He's an absolute.
I like your attitude, mate. You sit in the fence all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Foxy, hold on a second.
Hold on.
I'd just like to ask that people remember that this is all our own personal opinions, not necessarily the opinion of Rangers Radio. Okay,
right,
that's fine.
Fair enough. Anyway, we've been joined by a caller. Evening, caller.
Hello, lads. How you doing?
How are we doing? What's your name?
Dave from Corby.
Oh, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
How you doing? You doing
all
right,
man? How you doing, Dave?
I'm all right. How are you?
No bad, pal.
Yeah. All the lads good? Yeah.
Yep.
Great. You're all right. Brand new.
What's your point,
and
Dave?
You're looking forward to the game tomorrow?
Can't you wait, Dave? Can't you wait?
Right, I say 3-1 Rangers.
3-1 Rangers. Do you think Alfie will be playing? Will he score any of your goals?
Well, hopefully Alfie will be playing. But if he's not, I always say if the players don't want to play for Rangers, there's always somewhere else.
Fair comment, Bridgie.
Absolutely, yes. You can't. Dave knows what he's talking about. He's been playing Rangers supporter for a long number of years, that's for sure. So he knows what he's talking about. He's seen all the different things, different strokes and things like that. So, yeah, he's right. He's absolutely right. And if he's going for 3-1, did you say 3-1, Dave?
3-1, yeah.
Why do you want us to lose a goal, Dave? Why?
Well, I just think at the end of the day, I just think maybe Dundee, you know what I mean? They might show up. You know what I mean? They might show up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I know that I know they're not that good, but you never know, do you, with Dundee? You never know.
Is Shanklin back for them?
He is. He's back and fit, mate. Dave, do you know
who's the goal scorers for you tomorrow then, lads?
Yeah, for me, if Alfie plays a Morelos hat trick, mate.
That'd be nice. That'd be lovely. That would be, lads.
You're getting people excited, Fox.
Oh, you get me excited now. Morales scoring the hat trick.
But it would be good. I have to admit, that would just be absolutely superb. Superb for him, superb for the club, superb for the team. Everything, just brilliant. And the fans, of course.
Anything else you would like to comment on, Dave?
I would like to thank you for what you said for Jada. He was a gentleman, and he was a bear, and he'll always be remembering Corby.
Well, his memory will live on in that song Wolverhampton Town, and it'll be played for as long as time will be, mate, for Rangers. It's a terrific tune that he sang and had. Yep.
Dave, Big Stevie for the drum here. I actually know one of your boys during Corby, Big Mark McPhee. I don't know if you know, Mark.
Oh, Mark McPhee, yeah. Yeah, he's a good pal of mine, yeah. He's a good drummer and all.
Yes. Well, that's the ties I've got with the big man. He usually comes up here and stays when the Rangers games are on. But yes, I had a couple of the boy Jada before. I don't know him personally, but it's really sad. The whole of Corby seems to have lost a good in there, you know. And I think the tribute the show paid towards him was second to none. Absolutely fantastic with Bridge and the Fox and Ox and that done there. It was absolutely touching. Brilliant.
Yeah, it was fantastic for what you done for him, and he would appreciate you. He'd be looking down on you and saying thank you for what you done.
That's all a pleasure, mate. Anyway, is that all you're wanting to talk about, Dave?
Well, I would like to see another player come in, just if Davis gets injured.
I think quite a few folk have been raving on about another midfielder. The guy that Stevie was talking about earlier on, the boy, what was his name?
Johnson.
Daniel Johnson.
Yeah, I heard about that.
From Preston.
From Preston, yeah.
But I'm not sure whether that's just all paper talk, as most of the rest of them have been, you know.
There was also, lads, another player from Southampton could be on his way to Rangers.
Well, go on then.
Have a guess.
No, don't you say it's him that used to play with them across the city. Armstrong.
Oh, no, not Armstrong.
Thank God for that. Thank God for that.
Jonan Lindstrom.
Lindstrom.
Jonan Lindstrom.
Oh, I've not heard that one, so that would be a surprise.
Yeah, he's got a free. He's on a free at the end of it. Well, his contract runs out, and it's been going on. Rangers saying that they might go for him.
Apparently, he's got a bit of iron about him. The boy, he's a right enforcer. He's a right kind of tough guy, you know. So that was a rumour again. Absolute rumour.
It's just a rumour, isn't it? It's just a rumour, lads. But anyway, take care, lads. And we are the people, and always will be the people.
Right, Dave. Thank you for the call, mate. Good night.
Well said,
Dave.
Good
night.
Cheers,
Thank
pal.
you.
Cheers.
Bye-bye. Take care, lads. See you soon. Bye.
Right. There's some amount of bears down in that Corby, isn't there?
Unbelievable.
My brother-in-law's family all moved down there, and 3 sisters or something like that, and his brother all moved down there. Quite incredible. So him and my sister used to go down quite regularly. They loved it down there. Great people to talk to. There's people walking about there talk better Broader Glasgow accent than people in Glasgow, you know.
I love their connection bridge with Scotland, the steelworks. They love
Stuart Lloyd's. I don't know if you know that, but Stuart Lloyd's were He used to stretch for Toll Cross all the way out to just about Bells Hill. Amazing stuff. Amazing. And they moved the whole lot.
Can I just go back to my wee list of facts on
go on
referees against
yourself,
Alfie?
Aye.
Second worst in the list is Bobby Madden. In 4 games that he's refereed, he's given 1 yellow and 2 reds to Alfie. Third in the list is Nick Walsh, who's given 4 yellows. But I was quite surprised to see the guy that they call Cheating Beaten has given him no cards. And neither has Craig Thompson. That surprised me. What about yous?
I think Cheating Beaten has done enough damage to Rangers. And particularly one player, an ex-player now, Andy Halliday. He got hounded by Beaton. It seemed that every time he played, he was getting booked or sent off, or maybe both, against Beaton. No matter how he was attacked, jumped in his back. Stokes jumped in his back. And my God Almighty, it just shocking. It's shocking.
Anyway, if people want to join us, what's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
And you can join us at RangersRadio.online on Skype. And please don't wait till the last half an hour where we normally get about 20 callers and we can't get these all on. I know that we've been in the technical department. Anyway, Stevie, you were wanting to bring up the manager of the month and player of the month.
Oh, you've got to hand it to him, haven't you? Absolutely fantastic. Ryan Kent, what a start of the season. Looking like a £7 million player that we paid for. The boys absolutely, and I think it was David was saying we'll win 3-1. Well, I think we'll win 3-0. I can't see the defence losing a goal. But I'll tell you the new Ryan, if I was a betting man, I'd be putting money on Ryan Kent to get a goal tomorrow. There you go. Absolutely well deserved. And again, you've got to get back to Stevie G when he asked him about what about your manager of the month. The guy's integrity, it's a team effort, it's for the staff and everything they've done, but you know, the guy's just top class, different gravy.
Ryan Kent,
well done to the two of them at Fulham.
Ryan Kent, I was a bit disappointed with his role last season. I thought he didn't stick to the plan for me, staying up front and wandered there the park. But listening to the manager saying that he gives him a free role to go and do where he can do damage, I take that back. It's no often I'm rang, as Ox would say. Since 1962, I've never been rang. But I do admit that he's revelling in his new job and thoroughly deserved the award that he got. And I think he'll get it this month as well. Gary?
Hope so, Fox. It's brilliant to see him happy as well. We can see he's enjoying his football and stuff like that, and that's the way he's been taking more shots outside the box, which I've been crying out for. Like Rangers, I feel sometimes are too down the wing and the crosses into the box. I would much rather see our attacking players have some shots for outside the box because they've got the talent to do what they do, especially Ryan Kent. Ryan Kent can place a ball, he can go for the top corner. I mean, like I say, there's 17 goals I could name that he's, even like the one at Aki's last season and stuff like that. He just, it's great to see him in form, and I hope the form continues. We need him to be like that. It's a big ask for him, but we need him to always be on the ball like that for us because he makes everything tick for us, especially when he's playing. As for the manager, like Steve was saying, brilliant that he's bringing the backroom staff into it, and he's even complimenting that the team has allowed him to be getting manager of the month and stuff like that. But I think Stevie needs to take a pat in the back as well, because he's had 2 seasons and he's obviously probably wanted more out the 2 seasons that he's been already at us, and hopefully this is just the kind of platform that will kick the full team on again for the next 4 weeks.
Was the award winner, Bridge?
Yes, absolutely. I think Mr. Kent, I think he's a fabulous player. We've not seen skills like that since we had back in the days of wee Tommy McLean and wee Budd and Billy Henderson and players like that, and even Brian Laudrup. He can carry the ball so well, and he can jink through. And he when he gets a guy on the wrong side, he can get himself into really good positions and cross good balls in, or even have a really good shot. That's really good. And these qualities are just dynamite, absolutely dynamite. So I've got nothing but praise for Ryan Kent. I've been wanting him to come to Rangers all the time. I'm unsure whether, in fact, what we paid for him was too much or not. But the way he's been playing this season, he's well worth it. Well worth his money for me, and he'll make us a lot of money. He will make us a lot of money as we go forward. Wonderful player, and congratulations on your Player of the Month. Congratulations.
Okay. Stevie, we've got a rough 6 games in a short space of time now. I think we're practically every weekday, 2 games a week with the European qualifiers and the league games, mate. Do you think Stevie G is going to have to really manage our squad through that? Do you think we'll see many changes in the squad over that period of time, up until the international break?
Well, look, he's always maintained he wants 2 players for every position. So he knows many games last year that we played 60 odd, so he knows it's going to be a long haul. So he's going to utilise the squad. I think he's going to be better at it this year. I really do. And I don't think we're going to have any problems coming up. We've just spoke about it there, about keepers, defenders. We're even talking about who's coming in the more Alfie. Any one of the players, Roof, Alfie, the goalies, the centre halves, any of them coming in and out, we're pretty confident there's not going to be a problem. Even Big Bassy for Barisic, but there's absolutely no problem there. I just think we've got a squad now capable of handling the amount of matches that we've got coming up, and I think he'll utilise that beautifully. I think he'll be all right.
Right, I'm going to come to you a minute for your team for tomorrow, so I'll go to Gary. Gary, Stevie G have to manage the squad through these games?
I think what will help him is that obviously in the league you're allowed your 5 substitutions. I think he's been saying, and I think it was either the Rangers TV interview, he was saying that he's been wanting to rest Golson at certain points in the season. He's not had that luxury. So now I think with Balogun and Hollander, he will, and obviously Edmondson, he'll be able to do that more with maybe games that are kind of finished. He'll be able to take Golson off and give him a rest, and like you say, just manage the team through what is going to be probably a couple of tricky games coming up.
Selfridge, I'll be coming to you, Gary, for your team shortly.
Right.
Yeah, the manager's got to. I've said it earlier on tonight. The manager's got to manage the squad, and he's the one that's got to look forward. Him and his coaching staff and his assistant manager, they've got to go through and manage these things from a multiple game perspective, because of the volume of games that's going to come up and importance of games. Every game's important. Every single game's as a league winner for us. We've got to do it, but the manager's got to be able to do these things. But I'll go back to what I say. We can look more forward than, for me anyway, as a fan. The next game, that's it. We go. Who are we playing at the weekend? Tomorrow we're playing Dundee United. Let's go out and tank Dundee United. Then we can think about the next game, which is a European one. And that's the way I take my season, to be honest. I know the manager can't do that. And obviously, he's got to be doing what a manager should be doing, looking forward, what the forward planning is, and how he's going to do it, what was the squad going to be like, and so on and so forth. Because remember, he's got to, from now until, I don't know what it is in October, the 7th of October or something like that, when the window closes. So he could, in fact, be out there bringing people in or getting people out, as well as winning games. So good luck to the manager. That's all I can say. Get it done.
Looking at the game tomorrow, guys, what are you expecting sort of resistance are you expecting for Dundee United? I watched highlights of their game against them across the city. Oh, something's coming back there. I watched them in that, and they were very quick to close Celtic down. Do you think that'll cause us a problem tomorrow, Stevie?
It could. I was listening to the manager and another wee snippet. He was saying that he watched a few of their games and that, and they don't exactly sit back. They go for it, so they do. But that's where they might boo-boo with tomorrow. If they do come out and try and play, I think we'll murder them. I really do. You know, I really do think if they try to play, come out and go for it, I think we'll just do them. I really do. I think we'll give them a tanking. But no, it just depends how if they're going to play the two blocks or whatever across the penalty box, then it's just the same old for us, isn't it? But if they do try and come out, Fox, I think the Rangers will scud them. I really do. Mollocate them, wouldn't we, Bridge? We'll mollocate them.
I don't think Mickey Mellon will play a defensive side, mate. I think it's a young side that's come up for the championship. They're used to winning, and I think they've got a bit of belief about themselves. I just don't think he's the type of manager that the rest of them in Scotland who own a full block against us. What do you think, Gary?
Like you says, they have been playing a more attacking brand of football, but I think the Kilmarnock game might have given them a bit of the fear. So I don't know if they'll be a wee bit more cagey against us, knowing what we can do up front, kind of thing. But I don't know. Like, they're away from home. I think they might be a wee bit more defensive minded and be a wee bit more negative against us tomorrow.
Bridge. Somebody send out some signals.
I know. I was trying to get off mute there. I do apologise. I missed it. What was it? What were we talking about? I do apologise.
Oh, I'm getting rid of you. I'm bringing in Magpie Journey.
No, you do that then. Do that then. Come on. What was it again? Back us on.
How do you set up?
Well done, United attackers.
Well, yeah. Well, my opinion. I've already said this a wee bit earlier. I don't think they'll attack as much as Foxy thinks. You know, I think they're going to be playing against one of the best attacking teams in the country, if not the best attacking team in the country. Without a doubt, we've had just a short of bad luck in front of goals. If we could put a lot of the chance, or some of the chances away, we would be murdering teams 6-7-0, dead easy. We are brilliant, and when we're going to attack, brilliant, and they'll have to attempt. They'll have to bring in the low block, and I've said that they'll come out with two banks of four, and the other two side will go back in.
Okay,
right, I'm on you.
Joined by a caller. Good evening, caller.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello. No bad.
What's your name, mate?
Malky, keep it going.
Right, Malky, how are we doing, pal?
No bad. I was listening to your comments earlier on about Glancy.
Yep.
And he's never done his turn. I can assure you, every Glancy I know, and I know quite a few in Glasgow, especially with the Govan area, and they are all of their position. I mean,
yep.
You know what I mean? So I agree with your comments earlier on about why Glancy doesn't do any favours, because he's got it in for us straight away before he walks on that park, because he is the other side.
I don't think he's as bad with the rest of our players, mate. It just seems to have a vendetta against Alfredo. You know?
Yes, well, they've all got it in for Alfredo. The only know they just need to book him. And I've been listening to your show for quite a long time, and I remember a caller phoning up about couple of months back, and he said, maybe longer than a couple of months, he knew he was very friendly with referees in Scotland, and they came from the other persuasion, as we say. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He was well connected. And I'll stick with that guy's comment. I mean, I think he's quite correct.
Okay, then. Anything else you would like to speak? Oh, carry on. Sorry.
Yes, and if Alfredo's fit to play him, because I'm not convinced about the two strikers we bought yet. I know it's very early, but we need a goal scorer. And if that guy can put him in the back of the net, that's what we do.
Fair point, mate. No, I would play Alfie if he well, we know he's fit, mate, and I agree with you, he's the best goal scorer we've got in the squad. And until Itten and Roof are fully fit and firing themselves, I would play Alfie all the time.
Aye.
Yep.
I was listening to your show during the week.
Yes.
And all the stuff about the Castro stuff.
Yes, mate.
Now, I've got one. Now, I got it easier online. It took me 3 days. You still there?
Aye, carry on.
So
the service was good. The service was good for Castro.
Very good. Yes, excellent talk. Got it in 3 days. Now, I went to the Rangers shop twice. I got my son one. I waited in the queue. This was after the my GF members had been in and got theirs. And then the second time, I seen it on the website, and they'd all sizes, everything. And so I went up. I waited in the queue. I waited an hour in the queue. But then it was all the same stuff I'd seen previous. I mean, so they didn't have my size. So,
but you were really happy with both the service and the quality of the garments.
No complaints. Not a. The only thing, the one I bought from my son right now, that's still lying in Sydney.
You know, sent it yet?
Oh no, he's still not got it because all the borders aren't open. So the twos have got a black and orange one, but the only thing he's not got his, I've got mine. And I sent him. I got his before me. You know what I mean?
Right, thank you, Malky. I'm just going to bring another caller that's joining.
Your show's really good. I listen to it all the time, every night.
Thank you very much.
A nice call. That's a nice call, brilliant. Malcolm. Malky, a brilliant call, pal. Well done. Thank you very much.
Anytime.
Good night, Malky. Phone again, pal.
Right. All right. Okay. Well done.
And I think we've been joined by Andy for Leeds as well. Evening, Andy.
Evening, boys. Everybody okay, aye?
Aye, fine, Andy. How's you?
Aye, not too bad. I'd just like to throw a couple of questions to the panel and the troops that are on there tonight. Do you think we'll get a better edge on where we're at after these next 6 games, and would we play Morales tomorrow? That's the 2 questions I'd like to ask.
Right, Stevie, on you go and answer that.
First things first, yes, I think we'll play Morelos tomorrow. Yep. And on the 6 games, the next 6 games are crucial. I would go as far as to say, and I really mean this when I say it, if we can get through these next 6 games unscathed, if we can get 3 points the next 6 games, we'll be on the road to 55, Andy. There you go.
Bridge?
Well, I can't no difference of opinion with what Stevie's saying. I'm of the opinion, I just said it earlier on, I don't like to look too far forward and talk about future games. I'm that type of person. I just want to get to the next game. And every game is a huge battle, a huge big wall to climb or a mountain to climb, call it what you like. But that's what the Glasgow Rangers are about. That every game we must face it and go and win it. And, I don't want to think about, obviously it'd be lovely. You said at the beginning of the season, well, we win 55. Oh, aye, if we win other games, we'll definitely do it. But the truth is, they're crucial. Everything I've said is absolutely right. It's crucial. Every game's crucial. Every single game. And no more so than the first one that comes up, which is Dundee United.
Gary?
Andy, I think that the first Old Firm game is always the most important one, because I think that if whoever wins that one, they always have momentum to push on to the New Year game. And I think if Rangers keep winning and they go into that Old Firm game, level points, and we win that game, I think the team will have a lot of confidence that they will be able to win the league. So I'm really hoping that we push on in these next few games. And like Bridgeman, I don't like looking too far forward, but I really see this first Old Firm game that it's a must win. In the sense of Keane's confidence, I'm not saying it's going to win as the league, but it's for momentum wise and confidence wise, I think it will be better for us that we win it rather than lose it.
For myself, Andy, I hate these international breaks because you don't know how the team returns after them. Sometimes we're a wee bit slow to get into our stride. We were on a real winning run there, and then suddenly it's halted for an international break. And the same thing's going to happen after this next batch of games. I agree with what the boys are saying. If we can get through this run of games here up until the next international break and win them all, I think it puts us in a great footing to go on and win the league this season.
Yep.
That was my take on it as well. I only go one game at a time, but I was just having a wee look at them and I thought, well, we've been there and thereabouts without really putting the ball in the rigging. But if we can do that, start pummeling these teams and getting the momentum run, do the filth there when we've got to do it, it should set us up, going forward. On the Morales one, the way I'm looking at it here, I'd like to see him start on the bench for the simple fact is with that Diddy that's going to referee tomorrow, you know what's going to happen there. And the other point in looking at it is, right, he's so-called gone and done all his work, showing that he wants to get a few pounds off. Now, let him show now, if he's going to stay there, he wants to stay there, fight his way back, ease him into tomorrow, hopefully get a goal, run him in the next few games, and then he's ready for the filth. That's what I'd like to see. It just shows that he wants to be there now. And if he wants to be there, we'll all back him. There'll be no danger on that, in my opinion. And that's how I would do it. I wouldn't chance it with that Clancy tomorrow. No chance. You just know. I mean, geez, his face is tripped every time he comes out when he sees them blue shirts. You just know what he's going to do there. So I would box Clever there. I really would box Clever there because he'll have him. If he starts him tomorrow, you watch that Clancy, he'll have him. There's no doubt about it.
Myself personally, Andy, I would like to see him being on for the start. I think he's capable of getting us after a good start, and once we get in front, hopefully we will lay it right into Dundee United and run amok. I just don't think that either Itten or Roof are totally up to speed yet, and whether Alfie's been playing or no, if he's got the ambition to train the way he has earlier in the week, I think he'll be raring to go on Saturday, and I'd put him on myself.
Right.
What was your other points, Andy?
What was the other point? That was just about the games going forward. If we could get through these, I think it'll show where we're really at there. And then obviously, I mean, there's no break there, so we could get this momentum going into it. There's no break coming. Hopefully we can not do what we've done the last 2 years, got there and then blew up. We're all craving this, and this, like I say, I only take one game at a time. But I just looked at these 6 here, and I thought, right, if we could come through these, we're in a good position because we can go there. See, there's no crowd there at the filth. I think we'll do them. I really do, and that's moving forward. I think we're capable now. We don't worry about playing them. It's the ones in the bottom half of the six, isn't it, that we've been having problems with. Well, up to press, we've sorted that out. So the bigger teams, I don't really worry playing them. Even when we blew up last year, the big teams, we take care of them. So
can I come in
together and we'll be okay.
Can I come in that, Fox?
Of course you can.
It's just to say, Andy, that I'd forgotten all about it, but in the news tonight, in the Scottish news tonight, apparently their manager is now screaming for the crowds to be let into Parkhead. That's what the shout. That's what the shout is. And obviously, it's a lead up to the Old Firm game. You know. And
I wonder why, Bridge. I wonder why.
I would imagine that's exactly why. But they're not. I don't know whether they're even going to say that out loud, are they? But I think it's. They've been saying it right from the start, and that's why what did you call it last night, Foxy? The computer set printout, and it came out at was it a lucky computer or something like that? I can't remember what the phrase was. But they get Magic coming out as the last game in the first section, so the 11th game. Wow, just wow. Anyway, and that's what he's looking for, and we're getting close to it because, as you say, it's that we're playing twice a week for the next couple of weeks, you know. So we'll be far away. No be long.
Would somebody else try to come in? Was it you, Gary?
Myself, Fox.
Oh, you, Steve, right?
I was wanting to ask Andy a wee question. I know it's all about the Rangers and what we do, but can I ask you a question, Andy? Do you think in the next 6 games the Tims will drop any points?
I think they'll drop 2 tomorrow.
Well, that's why I'm saying we'll be in good stead. Can I just say something? I don't want to talk about them, but their manager says that our players went away. Scott Brown gets interviewed and says, no, I don't know any of them that went away. They're papering all the cracks in you, mate. And see if they drop another 2 points.
See when you see them, their faces are saying it all, aren't they? Really, you know, like, if we can just hold ourselves here and get about them, they'll just fold. I'll tell you. Look, we're under pressure. What we've got to do, yes, but they're under pressure as well for their so-called what they're going for. So a couple of bad results for them, and you'll see them implode. I'm pretty sure of that. We've just got to make sure we keep the pressure on them. I've just got a funny feeling tomorrow they'll drop a couple of points.
I hope you're right. But listen, there's something else Bridge mentioned there about their manager talking about he wants fans back into the ground. Why do you think that is, guys? Why do you really think that is? Me personally, I think they need finances. I think they're absolutely struggling. Me personally, I really do. The things that they've got coming up, I'm telling you right now, guys, they're about to implode. I'm telling you right now, and that's why their managers make public statements about trying to get fans back into their ground. They need the fans back because they need money. Trust me.
You may be right, Stevie.
There's another thing I know, right? Sorry. There's another thing I know. If you look at it from that situation, right enough, see when this all comes out, like what they did to us, they should be busted right down as well. See, because that stuff that they've covered up there, that's just atrocious, man. And they're going to get it. It's coming their way. I'm pretty sure of that now. And like you just said there, Stevie, they need the money. Definitely.
Something I want to give Fox my team right for tomorrow because he was asking earlier on, but listen, see them, we could talk about them all night, but you know they'll get the sympathy vote after Scottish government, they'll get everything, mate, it's gone. The goalposts will get moved to suit. But no, I just Fox was talking about the team for tomorrow. You want my team, Fox?
Of course I do, mate.
Right, it's controversial, by the way. I don't want you all shouting at me now, right? I'm going for McLaughlin, Tav, and by the way, Tav, congratulations to him, his 250th game for the Bears. Golson, Balogun, and Bassey, because I think the big ballers get his thigh injury. And I'm going for Jack Kamara Davis, and up front, Kent, Alfredo, and Roof. And I would give Kent and Roof 3 roles to play. There you go. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I've got Roof in my team.
Okay. Who have you got differently for Stevie then, Gary?
I've got Barisic starting. So basically, I've got McLaughlin, Tav, Golson. I've got Balogun in as well because I just think it'll be too soon for Hollander. I've got Barisic. I've got Jack Kamara. I've got Hadji, Parker, Kent, and then I think it'll be Roof. I don't think Alfie will start.
Oh, that's more controversial than Stevie's, I think. But Bridge, you got a team?
I'd like to say that it's the team that Big Stevie said sounds very interesting. particularly the defence. And we've discussed it earlier in the defence-wise. If the two guys have not recovered, I still think the guys that have got the jerseys up till this moment deserve to be given it if they're fit. If they're not fit, then obviously I don't have any problem with Balogun and the Bassey stepping in. It's the forward line. I like your midfield as well. The forward line. Did you say Kent, Morelos, and then Roof?
Yeah,
that would do for me as well. We'll get such good. Come on, pal.
Yeah, give Kent and Roof free roles to move about. Well, Fredo playing after them in the middle, holding it up and bringing they two into play, running in. I think, by the way, that's deadly. I wouldn't like that.
That's very interesting. Very interesting, I'll tell you that.
You stole that idea off of me. I've been saying that for weeks.
Oh, listen to that.
Absolutely not. That's absolutely not. No way did I steal that off of you. That's my own thinking, my own team. He's back before the game.
Oh, I would be much the same as you all, but I would be doing a 4-2-3-1, and I would have the same goalkeeper, same back four as he's all agreed with there, with Jack and probably Steve Davis in as the sitting two defensive midfielders, and I would have Hadji, Morelos, and Kent and Roof up front. That would be my team. What about yourself, Andy?
I think Steve's talked into that one right enough, to be honest with you. If the only one of the Barry's is just fit, then it'll be him for Bassey. But yes, I kind of like the one where Steve is going. It's good. It'll pull them about. I know right enough with the two of them moving about like Steve is just saying there right enough. So that is a good call. Actually, I never thought about that. Yeah, I think I'd go along with that one. Yeah. I think we could do some real damage with that right enough, to be honest with you.
I have to say, guys, I'm a big fan of 3-5-2, and we've got getting close to, from a defensive perspective, we're getting close to having a really good three central defenders and both weighted for balance as well. I think could be there. Maybe next season we might try it. Along for the day when we play a 3-5-2 at Ibrox. That should be our favourite position. And then you get two wing backs, of course, and your three midfielders battering up the pitch. Oh, wow. Be good for me.
Maybe we should just go all out, mate, and start the four strikers along with Kent, you know.
Well, go on yourself, Foxy boy.
Well, you would have Kent on the left. You could have Alfie in the middle. No, we'll do away with Kent. We'll play him in the midfielder. He can have a role. He can have a free role in the midfield, and we can have Big Hitting up front and the three behind him. Ruth, Alfie, and who's the other one? Defoe. You know, that'll do is we'll just go for goals tomorrow. I'll put a tenner on that at 40-1. We won 7-0.
Fox, can I say something, Gary? Gary, see your back four. I've only put Big Shirley in, mate, because Borna Bell's got a thigh injury, or it would be Borna all day long, you know.
I know.
But for guys, that forward line's going to cause all sorts of problems for any defence. If you've got Kent and Roof with free roles, with Alfredo, the way he can hold the ball and bring people into play, by God, man, that's going to give any defence a sore head. I don't care who it is. And Davis and Jack and Kamara in the middle of the field. Listen, you've got experience there, you've got legs there, and you've got a wee bit of toughness with Jack there. I just think that set up tomorrow would kill Dundee United, guys. I really do.
Fair point, man. A lot of people are maybe going to have to boil with Hadji, guys. We're always screaming that we want to see a young boy in the team. Do you think we should persevere with him and keep giving him game time? Or do you think we should put him back on the bench? Just a question. Yep, on you go.
Hadji, I think Hadji's got all the potential in the world. I just think he's got a short lack of pace, but he's reading of the game, and he's always willing. He's got a great imagination, the boy. He's always looking to play that pass or try a wee lob or do something out the norm. He's got that. But I just think he's better coming off the bench, for me. And I don't ask me how. I just think he's better coming off the bench for me than now. I just think that team that I named there, I would go toe-to-toe with anybody and argue the point that team I put on there will absolutely kill Dundee right at tomorrow. And Bridges will mollocate them tomorrow.
Mollocate them, man.
Stevie,
yes.
Scary, sorry. See, the only reason I put him in Hadji in my team is Stephen Gerrard saying in his press conference that he says you'll see slight changes to my teams, but you'll not see wholesale changes. And I'd like to say the thing about Alfredo is I can't see him just putting him straight back in the team after what's happened. He'll still, I'll not say punish him, but I think he'll still have him in the squad.
Gary, I think you're right. I think you're totally right. It wouldn't be a surprise to me if Alfredo didn't start tomorrow. It wouldn't be a surprise. But Fox has asked me what team I would put out, and 110%, Alfredo Morelos is the best striker at Ibrox now. And if he's fit and keen and ready to go, he should be playing. That's just how I see it. Roof and Big Hitton aren't quite hit the ground running the now regarding fitness side of things. That's why Roof, I don't know if you knew that Roof was asking people, would anybody like to train with him or whatever it was when he went down the road. But the bottom line is, for me, for the team that I'm putting out tomorrow, that team there is ripping any defence apart. When Alfredo, the way Alfredo can hold a ball up and bring people in, and you're getting Kent and Roof, two quick, fast players that know the drill. They're swapping about, their movement's unbelievable, and the legs they've got in the grass at the cover, it would kill Dundee United. Let's be honest, they're big boys at the back, couldn't handle that pace.
I give you my head team instead of my heart team.
I mean, we've got a couple of minutes left, guys, and who in the panel would like, if Alfie was supposed to be gone, mate, would you like to see him going out with a bang than just fading away and gone? Would you not like to see him starting, Gary, scoring a couple of goals and say his goodbye to the Rangers crowd if he is leaving, rather than the way it's disappointingly fading out at the moment?
100%, Fox. Most of the strikers who have went down south or whatever have always left in good terms. So, and he deserves that, to be honest. He's been the one that's kind of, I'm not saying carried the team, but last season and the season before, he was the standout player all the time. So, it deserves a good send-off, to be fair, if this is going to be one of his last games.
And it's not just his goal scoring. I think his all-round play's improved over the last 18 months as well, Bridge. What do you think? Like to see him go out with a bang?
I hope he goes out. I hope his last game for us, he scores a hat-trick. And we said that a wee bit earlier. I'd love him to get out with a bang, not necessarily in scoring a lot of goals in that sense, but I'd love him to do it. But I'd like him to go out as a true Rangers player and he's got to go in the park. And I was going to say in front of all the fans, but it's not going to happen like that. So he's got to go out and he's got to show us, in my opinion, that he's been worth the adoration that all the fans gave him for two and a half seasons. The guy was just dynamite for us. So as far as I'm concerned, that's what I want him to show again. That it's whatever devotion and feeling he had for Rangers, bring it back. Let's see what you've got again. And then when you go, you're not going to go out in a whimper. You're going to get out in a big bang, as Fox said there. And the fans will love it. The fans will love it.
Last word, Andy. You're right. How would you like to see if Morelos was to go? I'm not saying he is.
No, that would leave a bad taste in my mouth if he went out like that. I'd like to see him go out with a bang right now. See when the window shuts, will he still be eligible to play against them before the window shuts if he was to go?
Well, if he's got no, I think the window shuts, mate. He's gone. He can't play against him.
No, I'm saying like does the window shut after the Phil game? No. Because it would have been a nice way if it was to go out scoring against them, wouldn't it? Seeing as a win, like, but obviously that was my thinking. But no, I'd like to see him go out, you know, with his head held high. Like that would leave a bad taste in my mouth. He doesn't deserve that, does he? For what he's done for the Rangers.
No, he does not. Right, Bridge, it's up to you now.
What can I say? What can I say? Another wonderful night, by the way, Fox. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And Stevie, well done. A great partner for us. But can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here, on Rangers Radio, really, the battle fever's on. Huge game tomorrow. Oh, Fox will announce something just in a minute. Please, keep it going for the Rangers because we're all needed. Fans, club, everything. Keep it going.
On yourself.
I'd just like to thank everybody that phoned in tonight, those that's left on the panel, Andy, Gary, yourself, Bridgeman, and of course Big Stevie for the drum. That'll be a bigger mail post for your fan club at the weekend, mate.
I can't get through it all, Fox. I can't get through it all.
I know it's murder signing them on, sending replies, isn't it, Paul?
Oh.
Anyway, we'll be back on air at 2 o'clock tomorrow for a pre-match game, and 15 minutes after the final whistle to have another wee talk about the Rangers. Thanks very much for listening, and good night. Thank you.
Right, lads.
Everybody stay safe.
Yes.
Cheers.
The boy girl so young to Glasgow City to come, seeking fortune and the new way of life. How could they all know their ambitions would grow? Such a beautiful story, when here's how it goes. Four lads had a dream to start a football team. They had no money, no cash, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers were born. 54 titles, we're still going strong. So hoist up your Rangers flags, sing with your hearts and voice. We celebrate the greatest club in the world. Let our history show what we already know. We are the Rangers, the greatest of all. Four lads had a dream to start a football team. They had no money, no kids, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers were born. 54 titles, we're still going strong. Four lads had a dream to start a football team. They had no money, no cash, not even a ball. But they still carried on. The Rangers were born. 54 titles, we're still going strong. Four lads had a dream to start a football team. They had no money, no cash, not even a ball. But they still carried on. The Rangers were born. 54 titles, we're still going strong. 15 more titles, we're still going strong. 15 more titles, we're still going strong.